When most people think of grizzly bears, they probably think of states such as Alaska, Idaho, Washington, and Montana. They also probably think of that scene in The Revenant where Leonardo DiCaprio gets his ass handed to him by a vicious grizzly bear. However, less than 100 years ago, grizzly bears roamed around parts of Arizona, including the Chiricahua Mountains near the Mexican border, the White Mountains in eastern Arizona, the San Francisco Peaks north of Flagstaff, and of course, right where we are today, Oak Creek Canyon. Back in 1885, an individual by the name of Richard Wilson was killed by a grizzly bear about a half a mile north from where I am in this video. He was killed near Midgley Bridge, and the story goes like this. In 1884, Mr. Richard Wilson was hired by a man named Jim Thompson to help farm a claim in Oak Creek Canyon. Later in 1885, Mr. Thompson had to leave home for a while and travel to Prescott, Arizona for business matters. Now, he had a cabin near where the Sedona Arts Center is located today. Let me show you on a map. So, this is the area where Mr. Thompson and his family lived, and this is where the Midgley Bridge is located, a little over a mile apart. While Mr. Thompson was away, he had asked Mr. Wilson to come down every night to check on his family. At the time, Mr. Wilson was staying at a residence just a couple miles north of Midgley Bridge. A little background on Mr. Wilson. He had been referred to as a tough as nails kind of guy with bear hunting in his blood, and he really wanted to take down this grizzly. The only problem was he had a small caliber rifle as his bear gun was being repaired. Well, the first evening when Mr. Thompson had left for Prescott, Arizona, Mr. Wilson failed to arrive at the Thompson cabin to check on his wife Maggie and their kids, and as the days went on, there was no appearance from Mr. Wilson. About a week later, some friends of the Thompson family decided to stop in on their way up the canyon. Maggie had expressed her concerns to her friends about Mr. Wilson and feared that he might have had a fatal encounter with a grizzly bear that might have been roaming around the area. And sadly, she was right. His body was later found near the present day location of Midgley Bridge. It was later discussed that Mr. Wilson had left work early that day to make it down to the Thompson cabin, but on his way there he spotted the grizzly bear and couldn't help himself and made the daring decision to pursue the grizzly. And again, he only had a small caliber rifle,